The Pasuk, in discussing the inyan of Shemitah, tells us that if we're Zoicha, if we merit the blessing of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, of what God has in store for us, during the 6th year, we're going to see enough to last us for the next 3 years. It's going to produce for the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th year. And the Sforno explains that it really works on 2 different levels. Based on how much bitachon, on how much faith we put in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we put in God, is what are we going to see in our crops? For those who have tremendous amount of faith, a tremendous amount of bitachon, the amount that's produced in the 6th year will last for 3 years. 1 year's worth will be enough to sustain all of us for 3 years. And for those who are lacking or not on that great level of bitachon, don't have that much faith, God will give us, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us another amount for 3 times that amount. Instead of 1 year's crop, there'll be 3 times that amount, and we'll have 3 years of crop in 1 year. And the obvious question is, why for those who on the lower level of bitachon, they have less faith in God, they should see an open miracle of getting 3 times the amount of the normal quantity that they would get in a normal year. While those who are on a higher level, and they have tremendous faith in HaKadosh Baruch Hu, they have tremendous faith in God, that their 1 year's worth is going to sustain us for 3 years. That's a much smaller, less open miracle. In order to understand this, we have to realize what HaKadosh Baruch Hu, what God does to us in our daily lives. Hashem does not like doing open miracles. Because in reality, there is no difference between HaKadosh Baruch Hu doing Kriyas Yamsuf, splitting the sea, and letting us breathe. It's the same act of God. It's the same whether it's open or less open, hidden as we call it. It's the same thing. It's all Maseh Hashem. It's all actions, all activity, but from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, from God. So He doesn't like doing open miracles. So in reality, on the higher level you are, on the greater level that you are with HaKadosh Baruch Hu, He makes it more beteva, more natural looking. And therefore that 1 year will exist, will sustain us for 3 years. But rather, if you're not holding on that level, and God has to shake you up to give you that level of bitachon, to give you a level that's coming from me, that's coming from God, He'll perform an open miracle, even though He doesn't like it. So that those who are a little bit less, lacking on some level, will also feel that faith in God, will also see the hand that Hashem is running the entire world. And we could ask ourselves, why would Hashem stoop to such a level? If we're lacking on a certain level, we're not perfect, on a certain midah, why would Hashem cater to us? Enough to do against His grain, to perform an open miracle, that we should witness God's hand? But the answer is, as Reb Chaim Volozhner once asked his Rebbe, the Vilna Gaon, one of the attributes of God is that He's content with His portion. He's sameach b'chelkai. What does that mean, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that God is content with His portion? He's happy with what He has. A regular person, if he has $1 million and he doesn't have 2 million, so he should be content with having 1 million and not with 2. But for God, whatever He wants, He has. There's no such thing as content with His portion. Everything He needs, everything He wants, He desires it, He makes it, He has it. So the Vilna Gaon explained to him, he says, referring to his chelek, his HaKadosh, is referring to Klal Yisrael, the Jewish people, that Hashem is content with the Jewish people on the level that they're holding it. Of course, He has higher aspirations for us. Us, as the Jewish people, have to constantly strive higher, grow, reach higher levels in our service towards Hashem. But Hashem is content with our imperfection as well. He takes us for who we are, and He deals with us and the way we're holding on our level that we are. And that's what it means, Hashem is sameach b'chelka. He's content with His lot, with who we are at the stage that we're in. And that He shows us through the Shemitah as well. He's willing to go against what He normally does and perform open miracles for those who are not holding yet on the higher level of bitachon. If this is the way HaKadosh Baruch Hu, our God, our loving Father, deals with us, how much more so we have to act towards other people. When we see perhaps imperfections in others, and people not holding on the level that we'd like them to, be it our children, be it our students, be it our co-workers, our neighbors. We have to realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu has patience in us. He looks to us to where we're holding. We must do the same for others as well. As we start acting that way towards others, even though they're imperfect, and there's certain ways that they could grow, and we look at them positively and help them grow in that way, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have more patience towards us, will help us grow closer to Him as well, and we'll see V'tzivisi Esperchasi will merit to see the tremendous blessing that Hashem has in store for all of us. Shabbos.